I was talking about how I overcome upset or suffering by finding the reason and getting to the steady state of samadhi. And I was going to say something. Number one is to be able to confirm it. That's the main thing. By reflecting backward and now, and everything seemed okay. And I said that I felt liberated because if you cannot do anything, just keep your mind clear with no mind, no thinking, and I could do it, and no self. Bingo. So I'm liberated again. So I'm practicing this way of going over suffering and get to this samadhi state of calm and quiet mind. I was going to say something. And then I related. Also, I mentioned about when I was 8 or 10 years old, I could sense that my emotion may go up and down, but there's always steady, happy medium kind of thing. And that's how I felt. And I confirmed that seemed to be the case now. So I'm going back to that 8, 10 years old. Actually, it seemed like it. If you don't, I don't know if you have the same experience, but when you're little, you don't get bogged down or bothered too long. You have so much interest in life energy. So you may find your toy broken, you may cry. Next morning, you forget everything and you move on. So this is the thing I realized. I kept saying that I'm like going backward to be younger and younger as I get older. And that's the sense that if you're young, you're curious, you don't lose curiosity as you get old. I don't lose it at all. I'm more curious. I feel like younger and younger because not much to carry the burden anymore. And as much as when I was little, curiosity and play and something happens, but you can get over it. The reason being your ego is not as developed and they had some structure and kids live in that environment. And I'm the same way. There are certain difficulties beyond my reach. And I can be still like a child. Not to say I'm not responsible. I want to contribute something, but there's a limit to it. And when you realize that, it's like a no ego state. Playfulness, curiosity, having fun. I feel the burden, that I want to help. There's Vimalakirti Sutra talking about people suffer, therefore I suffer. I suffer too. But that suffering doesn't have to be my own and carrying it. The whole weight of the world is so big. I want to contribute. I may do something, hopefully, with the YouTube. But like a child, be realistic and your energy and the curiosity and how to, if you lose that, that's not healthy. I think that's what happened. That I retain that sense because of this continuous process of Joriki, the idea of samadhi, and keep doing this day after day of meditation, even if 20 minutes, whatever, and reminding myself, giving all the examples of the stories that I can find from my life and to share it. And the sharing is for someone else if they want to listen, but sharing to myself. It's the same thing as me looking at myself in the mirror, talking, but that me is looking at me. That's like maybe I stretch out here, Meister Eckhart. The eyes through which I see God is the same eyes that God sees me. That's too crazy your imagination. I'm not God, but there's a sense of transparency. That's the word. That if you don't have ego, there's no construction of what ego is to be, and you become more like a child. And there's a sense of transparency. There's no burdening of carrying the world and everything as child can be. And not to say the child is stupid or bad or immature. They have this sense of liberated, fun-loving drive, which doesn't get, how do you call it, pressured down by authority or bureaucracy or any of the nonsense. They just move on, find a toy, a different toy, new way of playing. I think that's really is what happened in the last, 18 or day and a half time. Let me move on to the next video. I think I have something more to say.